Hey everybody! Now the sound is blowing their doors off. Let me pull that down some to that. Is that better? Hopefully hopefully that should be right. Okay, like we were saying, Pat, Patty was talking about the glare being bad, and what we were pantomiming. What we were saying, but you couldn't hear us, was that everybody sprang forward today, right? So
right, and I was saying how I stayed up till 2 to make sure I set the clock.
Yeah, and I said liar. Anyway, so I don't know how many of you get that Princess Bride reference,
yeah.
But anyway, the lighting is different for us today. We're over at Patty's mom's.
That's too low. Turn it up some.
And it is an hour later in the day. Well, same time, but it seems like it's an hour later, so the sun is an hour beyond where it was, and it's a little bit different. So anyway, I hope the lighting is okay. When Patty gets talking about a subject, I may slip up and do something with the curtains.
I don't know if it'll help or not. Maybe it will.
Yeah, because
glare.
Yeah, it looks like I've got a halo, and we know that's not right. So
it's that gray hair shining.
It's the gray hair. Yeah, the sun is glistening or gleaming off of my white hair, I guess. Hey everybody. So thanks for joining us. I was also saying that the chat room really filled up quickly because when we hit the live button, there wasn't anybody here. Just Patty and I and our downvoter guy.
They're always there.
We had a downvote. I try to set our YouTube live events up a week or two in advance, sometimes even more, for a couple reasons. One, because I use a system called, and I've yet to do a video on this. I need to do a video on this. I use a service called sendcalendar.com. You just type it together with no spaces or underscores, sendcalendar.com, and it allows me to create a calendar event that you guys can subscribe to in your own calendar. If you use Apple Calendar or Google Calendar.
And you've told them you were going to do that too.
I know. Outlook.com calendar or a regular Outlook calendar. You can actually subscribe to our calendar in your own native calendar. And when I create an event, it'll update in your calendar and provide a link and all that. So that's one reason we create these sometimes, or most often create a link for our YouTube live shows a couple of weeks in advance. But as soon as you create them, you can actually go to the watch page immediately.
Oh.
And it'll say this is scheduled to start in 2 weeks, or something like that. And it's counting down already. Mm-hmm. And there's sometimes we get downvotes, 1 or 2 downvotes,
Always one.
Always one, sometimes 2, and a week in advance. So it's funny. But
I want to say hello to David from Alaska. Wow. Glad you're here.
Hey, David, thanks for joining us. There's no way I can go back and say hey to everybody.
Yeah.
So there's Homestead Mama. She just wrapped up. Loves the idea of doing a barn chat. Yeah. If I hope we didn't interfere with you, Homestead Mama. I drew a blank as to what time your show actually started. And it was kind of late in the day when we went out there and tried it. But we actually did a brief little live stream from our barn today. I was very, very excited about that because we normally can't do that because I don't have enough signal, or prior to today I didn't have enough signal. The Wi-Fi didn't quite reach. And there are some areas on our property where the LTE cellular signal is plenty strong enough, but the barn is not one of them. And so I've been meaning to try this. Back before we got our nifty 100 megabit a second fiber internet here, we had satellite internet, and we only had it at Patty's mom's house. And we were able to hang a wireless extender in a window at our house, and it was like a straight shot from this window to to the window over there, and it worked fine to give us internet in our house.
Yeah.
And I've been meaning to find that wireless extender that we no longer need. We have internet feeds at both residences, and take it to the barn and see if it would work. And today I said, doggone it, let me find it. And I found it, and I brought it out there, and it worked.
He was very happy.
I was very happy because things happen in the barn that would be interesting, I think, to a lot of our viewers. And we even had some comments on that video. I hadn't got a chance to reply to them yet, but I will.
No, he definitely will. He definitely will.
But that, we may do some live milking videos out there, milking the goats, because
it'd be quite comical if I film myself trying to milk the goats that I'm gonna milk in the morning. Yeah. Oh, but you're gonna be here to help me, so.
What goat you gonna milk in the morning?
I'm gonna milk Callie.
I was gonna say you ain't milking Crazy.
Nope, because we sold Crazy.
'Cause Crazy be gone. She gone, not yet, but she will be later today.
Let me see now. I done lost who I said. Who I was thinking. Kim said, "Do we sell all of our piglets?" And the answer to that is yes, but not at D&D. We have a local little sale. Well, it's kind of local. It's out in Suntag. It takes us about 40 minutes to get there. And we went out there Saturday morning, and we brought 6 piglets, and Tommy handed out some business cards to people that seemed a little interested, but we sold no piglets at the sale. But some friends of ours had come by the sale, and they said, when y'all get ready to leave, if y'all have any left, holler at us. And so we did, and we had 6 left. We brought 6. We had 6 left, and they actually took them all.
Yeah.
So we did get rid of them. We got a little money and some honey. So.
And I put a thumbnail up because I actually took the GoPro with me and did a little film view or film tour of what happens at D&D Trade Day. And that video has gotten quite a few comments too, and people are jealous, saying, some people said we don't have anything like that near us. Some people said we have little things like that near us, but not nearly that well attended. And
it's really amazing. And I love the shot Tommy took at the end. I guess you had the camera on that pole.
Yeah, I extended it way up high and turned it around.
Yeah, I mean, it really is amazing when you can see all the vehicles because, half of them are vendors and half of them are people that are attending. It's just amazing the amount of people that come. And
that was not the biggest day we've seen.
No. Well, I mean, that was a lot of people there. But I tell you what's grown is the vendors.
Yeah.
I mean, the vendors, there's a lot more vendors there.
How many years have they been doing it? Do you know?
I don't know, but I know it's been 3 or 4 years for the first time I went. I don't attend it regularly, but I have brought chicks there to sell. What else? I guess mainly chicks.
Mainly chicks.
Yeah, that I've brought there to sell. They sell a lot of chickens there and everything. So
we are too. We actually, Patty had some people interested in some of the sex-linked chickens, chicks that we're going to be hatching.
You're tongue-tied today,
I am tongue-tied today. My dead lip is feeling extra fat. I think it's because I was drinking that cold tea and it's got it even further numb. But you had some people interested in Delaware.
Yeah.
And so...
And I've got the incubator still doing good. I added more Delaware eggs yesterday and more turkey eggs yesterday.
More midget white turkey eggs.
Yeah, so I'm excited about that. I've already got, I've got one lady... 2 people that are interested in some of the stuff I have in the incubator. So
yeah, and we have a plethora of Delaware roosters. Don't we have too many Delaware roosters?
Yeah, we have. I think I can have 5.
5 roosters out there. So we may bring the next time. They do it every month, and it's the second Saturday of every month.
The second Saturday, and if there's a 5th Saturday, they have another one.
Yeah. So some months there's 2, and there's a Facebook page or a group. I don't remember if it's a page or a group for D&D Trade Day, and a lot of times people go on there and say who's bringing what.
Yeah, and they also sell through there too.
Yeah, you can actually list things to sell there, and it's pretty neat. And the owners, I guess they make their money from concessions.
I guess so. Yeah, because they don't charge.
There's no charge. That's amazing. There's no charge, and I don't know how they manage to do that. But
yeah, I think they're people loving people. They like having it's like a big family out there. So
there's really people that we don't go every time, but there are lots of people who do. They go every single time. And we met a man who was gracious enough. We got there a little bit later than we should have, and he allowed us to put our crate of pigs by his little booth, and man, he had all kind of poultry and ducks and all, and he makes his living.
Yep.
Raising and selling,
and buying and reselling.
And reselling too, and not just chickens either. They had a little auction later in the day that people just go up there and offer things for auction, and somebody offered up a couple of vases about this big, and he scooped them up and said, "I'll turn a profit on them Monday." Yeah, he goes to an auction, another kind of auction, and but anyway, it's a neat thing. It really is. And somebody had mentioned Tractor Supply in their area.
Yeah,
and
a lot of them do in Macomb.
I believe they do. The closest one to us, they do a thing like that at Tractor, but it's nothing like this. I mean, go watch that video and you'll see, especially at the end of the video. I think it's about 7.5 minutes long. That last little thing where I run the camera up high and you can see.
It's really
kind of get an
yeah.
idea of how big of an area it is.
Kim says she wished she'd been closer. She'd have loved a couple. Well, Kim, maybe we can work something out. So I don't know where you're at and how far, but we need to talk, because maybe if we ever head your way or something, we can throw a couple in the car.
I tell you, Jared Stanley's going to be jealous because our herd reduction sale has been going gangbusters. Now, we're selling these for a ridiculous price, but it's been working. And I've tried before, and really, it's so weird. We've tried before and gotten no bites.
Yeah, but we haven't had a 2-for-1 sale. So.
No, that's true. But we've reduced down from about 60 to 14 or so.
Yeah.
And there's a young man coming at 6:15 today, our time, about 15 minutes after our show concludes today, to buy another young female that is, we believe she's pregnant. And he's going to take her, and he's also going to buy one of our goats and one that just had a baby. And Patty, he came and bought a couple of young piglets last week sometime. Three piglets. 3. And tell him about this young guy.
It was really neat. I was a little nervous. Tommy wasn't home. And
I didn't let him know that.
We didn't tell him that Tommy wasn't home. He found out when he got here. Well, I guess he might have just been thinking my husband was lazy in the house. So I don't know, because I didn't tell him anything. I didn't know him, who he was or anything. And he ended up coming a little later, so it was pitch black. But I had went ahead and caught the pigs when I fed and had them in a crate for him to transfer into his pen. And when he got here, he was a little young guy, and he's talking about school or something. And I asked him, I said, "What school do you go to?" And I didn't recognize the name of it. Well, it was a high school. He's 17, and he lives with his grandparents, and he's trying to build up his animals. He wants to build up a little farm. And so I thought I caught a male and female pig for him, but I actually had caught 2 males. And so we went out there, and he caught him a little female, and he's got her in the pen. And he was trying to reach in and get that one of the males out. And I'm like, no, stop. Leave it in there. And we closed it, and I said, just keep it. So he's trying to build him up a little farm. And so I got rid of 3 instead of 2. So I was glad of that.
And that's been kind of our strategy all along.
Yeah.
We set a price for 2, and then when they ain't looking, you throw another one up in there.
Yeah. But anyway, just a real nice little guy, and it was just refreshing. Him and his grandfather
17 years old
and everything, and that that's one thing with working with the farmers market and everything, that it's just so apparent. We have one guy, Craig, that he farms. That's all he does, is he raises vegetables and sells, and I'm not good with guessing age anymore, but I would guess at the most he's 30, but I don't really think he's that old. What would you say? What do you think? No?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know either. Yeah. I'm terrible with that too.
But I mean, the next youngest is me, I believe, and I'm almost 50. So, and I don't raise a whole lot of vegetables.
Notice how easily she just said that?
Well, that's
just came right on out with it.
It's the truth. But anyway, that's the problem, right now, is that we're not having many farmers. We're dealing with the farmers market. I'm the manager there, and we don't have many farmers. We're looking for farmers, and you don't have to be a full-time farmer to come, but just a backyard gardener that has a lot of tomatoes or a lot of stuff, a little extra. Just plant a few extra things and bring them to the market. We're just not finding those kind of people, and especially younger people. Anybody that's usually involved. James and Cloyce, that's 2 of the main farmers that we have that come, besides Craig, the younger guy, and Mr. Bobby. They're all over 60, so it's like, there's this big gap, with not having the farmers that we really need to do that. And it's kind of scary, when you really think about it.
Yeah, and the average age of a farmer in America is, I don't remember last time I looked at it, it was pushing 60, I think, and so that's a scary proposition. And what the country needs is a bunch of more young hobby farmers, small farmers, and feeding their own communities rather than these behemoths. And farming is hard, especially in the way it's evolved in this country. Big ag is not easy. And they're all slaves to the lenders, and that's a whole nother thing. I don't want to launch off on all that, but this country needs a whole new generation of people, young people, who want to get back to the land and raise their own food and feed their communities. Not necessarily feed the world.
Right.
And the thing is, if we had more people feeding their own communities, we would feed the world.
Right,
one community at a time, so to speak.
But anyway, so it was just refreshing to meet him, and he's just real excited that he's gonna get a goat. He said he's been wanting a goat for a long time.
And we're making him a deal that we probably wouldn't make, to anybody else, but we like the idea of helping him in his endeavor.
It's encouraging.
Kind of take him under our wing a little bit,
But that was before Tommy left. Let's see. That was
while
Tommy was gone.
Thank you, Sand Hollow. I'm working on it. Had a compliment on the beard. I'm working on it. Had to grow it back. Tomas wouldn't let me stay without it very long, and so it's coming. Anyway, go ahead.
But I think Tommy left to go to town Tuesday, and let's see. Let me see if I can tell by my pictures. We got a lot of pictures down here. Is there more down lower?
No, just that.
Well, I thought I had a picture of the little black goat.
I might not have got it or pulled it in.
Oh, yeah. That's not 10 pictures.
Probably not.
Anyway, we had a little goat that was in labor, and she was having a very hard time, and so I was glad Tommy hadn't left. Well, wait, let me backtrack. Before that, Tommy went to feed over in the Pines, where we have the cow and a few pigs, and we had a few goats over there. And what we were doing is pulling our goats out before they actually had their babies. And we had a few still over there, and I said, we need to pull those goats. And we'd been talking about it, and so he went over there to feed, and sure enough, one had had their babies. And so we were able to pull her out, and we got a little buck from her, and we got the other pregnant does out that was over there. And so that was one little buck born. We already had two, I think, that y'all knew about. So that was a third one. And then that morning, a little bit later before Tommy left, we had the doe that was having a hard time. I really thought I was
That's this one.
Yeah. I thought I was going to have to call the vet, and we worked so long and tried so hard to get the baby born and everything. I really, really thought it was going to die. But I rubbed it real good. I shook it. You know how it gets, sometimes it'll get mucus in their throat. And I'm not going to go into great detail, but it just was a long birth, and Tommy actually was the one that actually got it out. And so I did have a picture of both of them, but that one didn't come through, I guess. No, that's not it.
No.
Anyway, so that made number 4 buck, and so a little buck's born, and so I would, that's okay, because we sell the bucks. We still make money off of the bucks and everything. We used to always be wanting does, but right now, as of right now, we have 10 does. We're going to be selling that one, so that'll put us down to 9. But anyway, I actually went to Starkville this week, and Tommy met me there because our youngest daughter had her 22nd birthday. And so we ate at a Mexican restaurant, as you can see, with the Mexican hat. And so we celebrated Carly Ann's birthday, and we had a great time. And it was just really an overnight trip. And we had breakfast that morning, and I came home, and he didn't put that picture up either. I had another buck waiting, so that's 5 bucks.
5 bucks, yeah.
And then later that night, when Tommy went to feed, we had a missing goat, and we noticed she was kind of going off by herself. And so he said, I see some eyes out there, some low eyes and some high eyes, and this is what I did this with the flashlight going out there, checking on them, and she had finally 2 little does. So this week now our total of goats are 5 bucks and 2 does born here
So far.
in the last 2 weeks.
In the last 2 weeks.
We have 2 more goats left to kill.
2 more? Yeah.
2 more.
Tyne or Val?
No,
Tyne.
Sane.
Yeah. We got a crazy naming system. I
name them by the situation.
Just what the situation. We got one called Crazy, and she's actually leaving here today. Her and her baby. When she was born, or not long after she was born, we named her Wild Thing because she was wild.
You couldn't put your hands on her.
You couldn't put your hands on her, and really unusual. So later on, her name morphed from Wild Thing into Crazy.
Yeah.
And is Sane one of hers?
No. Yeah.
Yeah. So she's had kids before, and we really didn't have a name.
No, she didn't have a name. But we had to move her, and I was telling Tommy that we need to name that goat. And it's just that goat.
I said, is she crazy too? And she said no. I said, well, name her Sane. So her name is Sane.
Yes, and Carly Ann will have a fit. She's usually my namer. She names everything.
Well, Tomas is kind of bumping her for that.
Yeah, that's true.
You know.
But when I came home with our little Nubian does, there was a black one, so we named it Blackie, and there was a brown one, so we named it Brownie. There was a blonde one, so we named it Blondie, and there was one that was kind of calico, so we named her Callie. I mean, you know.
Duh.
And I can remember their names. And then we have one that's named Shaggy because she's
got shaggy hair on her back legs. One of them, and her sister was Slick because she didn't have
Slick.
it. Anyway, when Patty named those little Nubian doelings, Carly Ann's like, those are horrible names.
Yep.
Like,
she didn't like it much.
They're not horrible for us because we can remember them.
Yep.
We know who they are, which ones they are. So, we got lots of goats, Kitty, and we're fixing to have more.
And I mean, it's a fun time. It's really a fun time. It's been a very busy week with dealing with the goats and dealing with everything else and all, trying to get things. I've planted a few more things in the greenhouse. I have some little flowers growing now. I still have a few other things I think I need to get out there and seed. I need to get some more lettuce going because my lettuce is up and I'll be moving it out soon. And I need to put some more out there where I can have some coming along, you know, because once it starts dying back, I can plant more and have a good continual harvest, not just one harvest. Of course, you know, lettuce don't keep very good. So anyway, I plan on doing that.
Hen Feather Homestead, I might have missed something. I see your comment that says, do you know those pine cones I asked you about? Each little petal has little seeds in them. Oh, okay. I remember a comment about what do you do with those pine cones. I don't know if that's the comment you're talking about, but yes, we do. We are aware of the little seeds. I mean, we live in Mississippi. Pine trees used to be, I don't know if they are now, but pine trees used to be the #1 cash crop in the state of Mississippi. Mm-hmm. And I think it may have slipped down to #2 or 3 now, but
I don't know. It's still up there.
So we're very familiar with pine trees and pine cones. And when I was a kid, growing up in Louisiana, even you pull those little seed pods out of that pine cone and throw them up in the air, and they twist around like a little helicopter. Falling down to the ground. So it's a pretty cool thing. And
Backyard Homestead said hello, and so hello back. And they said they're from Starkville, Mississippi State. So are you still there, or is that just where you originated from?
Well, go Tigers. I mean, wait, Hail State.
That was ugly.
No, we pull from Mississippi State every week but one. That's what I tell everybody. Mm-hmm. I mean, I got a daughter at Mississippi State. Yep. And she pulls from Mississippi State. Yeah. She probably pulls from even against LSU. I don't know, but...
Jay asked,
we like steak.
Ask head lettuce or leaf lettuce, and it's leaf lettuce. I've never grown head lettuce, but I love growing my leaf lettuce.
It's so pretty, and it's tasty, and it also adds color to the garden. I love to see lettuce growing. Growing. I love to see kale growing, and we're gonna be doing that. In fact, a couple of the videos that we posted last week, we had. Garden prep and greenhouse update initially, where Patty had really started seeding things in her greenhouse, and then more recently we updated that with our greenhouse explosion video. And y'all, we lost a subscriber because of that video. I guess they really had subscribed. I don't know. But one of the comments on the video said, I mean, first of all, I hate clickbait. I really do. I don't like clickbait. So that was kind of a tongue-in-cheek. I guess it really came out like clickbait, but it was kind of tongue-in-cheek. And I just titled it "Greenhouse Explosion!" exclamation point. Well, obviously, I was talking about the explosion of growth because we had been gone for a couple of days, like Patty mentioned, gone to Starkville, and
we
came
were just
back.
Amazed, you know.
Yeah, came back, and in 24 hours, I mean.
Well, see, I watered them right when I got home because it had been 24 hours.
Yeah.
And so I watered them right when I got home. Well, I didn't go back out there till the next evening, and it was just amazing. Some little baby's breath that I planted was already up, you know, like an inch, you know.
Yeah.
And so I was just really amazed.
It was crazy. I mean, it was so much growth in 24 hours. I even mentioned this on the video that it would make you think that if you'd have been standing out there that whole time, you could have seen it moving, you know.
Yeah.
And so I titled it "Greenhouse Explosion," and y'all, somebody actually commented, "You lied in the title." I'm unsubscribing. Don't even bother.
What did you call it?
Don't even bother to reply because I'm not going to be here. And I thought to myself, wait a minute. They're actually disappointed that the greenhouse didn't really blow up.
Yeah, that's true.
I mean, think about that.
I guess they thought I kept my manure in there and got hot.
I guess. I don't know. But, you know, so I went back and actually edited the title a little bit because I do despise clickbait. There's a big raging discussion going on YouTube about clickbait, and the sad thing is it works.
Yeah.
It gets people to click, but I don't want to do that, and I didn't mean to do that. I guess I did, but it was really more being a kind of a smarty pants. But yeah, we lost a subscriber, but we also gained about 8. But I hate that.
Back here on Homestead said they do live in Starkville, so we'll have to meet up sometimes. Do you go to the Homestead? What is it called? The Homestead
Education Center. I wonder if you know about the Homestead Education Center.
Yeah.
If not, send us a message. info@aldermanfarms.net. info@aldermanfarms.net, and I'll send you some information about the Homestead Education Center that's located there in Starkville. You might be interested in get you hooked up there.
Off Grid Nation said you set the bar pretty high with the dog attack. Yes.
Yeah, I guess that's true. I guess that's
Something
true.
else happened on Alderman Farms.
Yeah, well, that's true. And Tommy, may I tell you, that's where that bar is going to stay. If I got anything to do with it, I won't be the one raising it. I promise you that.
And that's what Wanda or Danny said that's stupid that we use titles that pop into our head. It isn't clickbait, just being fun and showing our personality. And that's what it was.
That's what it was.
He was standing right there in the greenhouse, and we were talking about it. He goes, "Oh, let me do a video right quick," and it just happened like that.
Yeah, because seriously, I mean, the growth was so dramatic that's what. And then we've used that term before. You know that the garden has exploded with growth. And so I thought it was funny, and I promise you, don't feel bad. We don't feel bad. I mean, it doesn't hurt my feelings, and I'm not losing any sleep over it. And I thought, I didn't reply. They told me not to. They said, we won't be here. But I wanted to say, really? I mean, really? You know, you're disappointed that our greenhouse didn't actually explode?
Yeah.
So,
yeah, Kitty said she really did think something happened, but she was glad when she realized it didn't.
Thank you.
She thought about fertilizer.
Well, I need to be more careful, I guess. But anyway, it's just kind of funny, a funny thing.
And hey, Big Bear.
Yo, Big Bear. BB, what up, dog? I'm still sad that I didn't have to force BB to paint his beard purple and gold. But
let's show him the bees. Our bees are busy. I made a little video actually to send to my friend in Louisiana. We kind of do bees together. Her husband's been doing bees for years, and so she had asked me how the beehive was doing because Roger was asking about it. So I was walking by it, and they were really, really busy, and so I filmed it and sent it to her where she could see. So.
And if you're wondering why she's zeroing in on only that hive and not the one to the right, there's a good reason for that. I don't know why I did that, but that's what I meant to do. Because that sucker's dead as a hammer. So, we're not really beekeepers. We're bee havers.
Yeah, we're learning.
We're
kind of.
We're okay at having bees, not very good at keeping them. But I don't know. There's a lot to learn. But
oh, okay. Backyard Homestead said that they're very familiar with the homestead, that her brother did a pottery making demonstration there. Oh, I wish I'd have went to see it.
Oh, come on.
We don't get to go to a lot there because it is 3 hours away.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
But I always try and look at the schedule and see if there's something that I'd like to go to, and I can incorporate, of course, a visit to my daughter. So.
And we are members. We've been members for
a long time.
4 or 5 years, I guess. So we are members. So maybe we'll see you there. Get to meet you there at one of the events that surely there'll be something probably coming up.
Oh yeah, they'll be putting out their spring schedule.
Well, I think that I just got an email with some upcoming events.
Oh, okay.
But
I'm not an email checker very good. So.
No, she's not.
If you ever send me an email, send him one first and tell him to tell me to check my email.
Yeah.
So that's the way it works with me.
But yeah, we love Allison and all the folks there that
been very nice to us.
Been very, very good to us. Sure have. So what else we got? Let's see. Speaking of
oh yeah, that's a pretty good baby.
Yeah, that everybody saw. We went live to show off this little fella, and he's such a sweetheart and very very tame, and he likes loving, and so I'm still so excited that we can go live from our phones. So we're trying to work that into our psyche to think about going live more often. I think we may have. I don't remember if that was live or not. But
oh, yeah, and this is when we just opened up our backyard. We have our white fence. I'm sure it'll show on there going across our backyard. Because, of course, the backyard starts growing all kind of stuff. And so Tommy's talking about mowing the grass. I'm like, oh, I've got another idea.
Yeah, I was going to mow, and she said, I got a better idea.
We usually end up doing this every year because the woods just aren't, the bushes and stuff like that just aren't putting out near as much stuff, and so the yard always gets long, so the goats usually get to run through the yard for a little while. But now they're jumping over the white fence, so they've just lost their privileges. So.
Yeah, because it's not plugged in. That's electrified poultry netting that we love, but it only fooled them for so long.
About a week, huh?
About a week, yeah. And once one of them figured out, hey, this thing ain't plugged in. Then they figured they could jump it. Yeah, it's amazing though. They could jump over it if it was plugged in, but they don't. So I don't know if they somehow feel the electricity pulsing in the air. Same thing with chickens. We that's a poultry netting.
Yeah.
And we get that question all the time. The chickens don't jump over it, and the answer is no. You can have chickens that will jump over a 4-foot high welded wire fence with like it ain't there. But they, for some reason, they do not even attempt to jump over this 42-inch electrified poultry netting. And the only thing I can figure is that they somehow sense the electricity pulsing in the air, and they say it's a bad idea. That, it tells them it's a bad idea because they just don't. It works great.
And Suburban Hillbilly said he needs that baby goat. Well, he's yours. He's for sale. They're all for sale.
Everything's for sale, just about.
And Backyard Homestead said that her husband wants to play Corey in tennis. So we'll have to drag him. It's hard to get Corey away right now. Between him working and playing tennis and going to school, he's busy. But
and hanging around a girlfriend.
Yeah, he's got a girlfriend.
Well, she can come too.
Yeah, she can come too. We really like her too, though.
Yeah, she's a keeper. She stays out in the barn.
She loves the baby
She don't mind
goats.
getting her hands dirty.
Yeah, she's helped me deliver babies or clean up babies before and help them to learn to nurse and everything. So.
If you hadn't had a chance to see our Deep South Homestead tour, we posted that up because we were able to go back to visit Danny and Wanda when it wasn't raining. Because the previous time we had been there, it literally rained 9 inches while we were there. Yeah. And it was unbelievable. It was like a torrential rainstorm.
Yeah.
And so we went back over there because we had a special reason to go there to film our Homestead Heart series or parts of it, and we filmed 2 segments. One on financial matters, money matters in marriage, that is posted on Danny and Wanda's channel, and then we videoed one on Communication in Marriage and posted it on our channel, and they're both in a playlist that's two playlists, one on Danny Awana's channel at Deep South Homestead and one of them on our channel. And so you can click on either one of those playlists and get to see all the videos in the Homestead Heart series. But it was a beautiful day when we were there, and I found out that not only is Danny Sweet Tater King, but he's also the sugar daddy, because they use a lawnmower to run their sugar mill and just drive around in circles. Cool. Some people have mules. Danny just drives a lawnmower around in circles.
Suburban Hillbilly, I'm so sorry. I called her him.
Oh,
I'm sorry.
Sorry, oops. Those kind of mistakes happen sometimes.
Yeah. And I'm so terrible too. And Heidi from Rain
Country?
Yeah, had said something, and I meant to say something to her. I get so confused with the names on YouTube and then real names. I just get, it just is very, I can't keep, I'm bad with names anyway. And I'm sure everything's the same. If you see AldermanFarms, well, most likely it is him, because I get on YouTube under Patty. But, if we were to both get on it, you wouldn't know who you were talking to, whether it was him or me.
Yeah, it's so funny when I get in chats on other videos. They say, "Hey, Tommy," or "Patty."
Yeah. And most of the time, if it says AldermanFarms, it's Tommy.
And I can just tell you this about Patty. If she happens to assign the wrong name for you, forget it. That's your name now.
That's it.
Because if she makes a connection with the wrong name, I
name people in my head.
Yeah.
Like, I'm bad. There's been 2 people since we moved here to Mississippi in 17 years that one of the girls, I can't remember the other name I called her, but her real name was Tammy. But every time I saw her, that other name popped in, and I would just really have to take my time, because I would call her. But when I finally confess this to people, it seems to help and to go away, because I would be so embarrassed if because it's like that's their name.
Yeah. So, hey, Lorelei, good to see you. Thanks for joining, and thank you, Quake Lake Homesteaders, for your compliment on our garden tour, the 2016 garden tour, and it's going to be taking shape. Actually, our plans kind of got mixed up today, because I was supposed to be walking behind a Hoss wheel hoe, oscillating hoe today.
I just want you to bring my mulch.
Well, I'm going to bring you mulch. We got to bring you mulch. But, we just found out Corey is on spring break this week, and he has already said, I belong to y'all this week. Whatever you need me to do, help around the farm.
Did he really say that?
Yeah. He didn't use those words, but he said whatever y'all need me to do. Right, Corey?
That's my boy. See? That's my boy.
So Corey's going to be the farm hand, our extra farm hand this week. So
that's right.
It looks like he might be walking behind a Hoss wheel hoe, oscillating hoe in that garden. Got to get the grass out between the rows, which we've got
get some mulch
thick layer of mulch in there, and we got to bring some mulch and to put in the boxes. And so anyway, thanks again, Quake Lake, and y'all be watching. We're going to keep you updated as the garden progresses. Yeah. And that mustard patch looked fine, though, didn't it? It looked like a little strip of carpet there along the.
I'm excited about
along the fence. It's doing really well.
The Simple Life Homesteading the Pioneer Way asks how much are the goats, and they're really not for sale right now, because I like to leave my babies on my mama's, and what I do is at night I'll lock my babies away and milk in the morning. That way I don't have to be on a set milking schedule, because if I don't want to milk, I just leave the babies with their mamas at night.
Yeah.
So they won't be for sale till they're about 4 or 5 months old.
Yeah.
But
we're making an exception for Trenton, for this young man that's coming this evening.
Well, we're selling a mama and the baby.
Yeah.
Yeah, and as of right now...
Did you tell them how much milk you're getting off of Caramel?
No, I didn't. Yeah, I had earlier, when we were out in the barn and made that little video.
Oh, that's where I knew you had said it, yeah.
Yeah, we had to, with Caramel, the one we showed you that had the babies at night, Friday night, that had the 2 little does. Usually when they have twins, the twins will keep up with the milk and everything. But these little twins are not able to keep up with the amount of milk she's making, and they're both nursing off of one side.
Yeah, I was going to say but they're favoring one side.
And so I had milked her out some yesterday, and I thought once I got her teat down to a smaller size that they would nurse it. But after church, I went out there and looked at her, and I told Tommy, I said, we have got to milk Caramel today. And I'm getting about 1 quart off of one side of her.
Yeah.
So that's a lot of milk for a goat. So if I were to get that off of both sides, then that means I'd be get a half a gallon of milking, you know.
And Caramel, this is what, her second kidding?
Caramel, her second or third. It's probably her second.
So, if I remember correctly, do you remember correctly how many kiddings it takes for them to sort of reach their peak of milk production? I want to say 4 or 5 kiddings.
You know, I don't remember.
We used to know that kind of stuff. We hadn't paid, you know, it's been so long since we needed to know it, you know, really, but it's just kind of a little trivial thing. But, so you can just make a note of that the first freshening, they call it, the first time a goat kids, you can't make a total judgment on her value as a as a milker. I mean, you can get some indications, but all I'm saying is it takes, I don't know, I have to look that up, but I want to say 3 to 5. Don't quote me on that. We'll find out for next time. But it takes several kiddings for them to sort of reach their peak.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think you're right. I think it is 4 or 5.
I think it's 4 or 5.
Yeah.
And also there's a progression with each kidding. Each time they freshen, it's not at the beginning is not the most milk they're going to give. There's a matter of, I don't remember, weeks when they reach the peak for that freshening. And
let me say this. I'm sorry.
No, that's fine.
46 Degrees has asked a couple of times which OBS software you're using.
We're not. We're using Wirecast.
Oh, okay.
We started out.
I would have said I don't know which one.
Yeah,
we're using.
we started out using
Wirecast.
OBS Studio for Mac, but we didn't have. I was so frustrated with the audio video syncing issues, and had an opportunity through my employer to get my hands on Wirecast, and it's the Wirecast 7.4. It's not the Wirecast for YouTube. You can get Wirecast for YouTube, which is free, but it works a lot better, in my opinion, than OBS. It's, for one thing, it's integrated into YouTube. The two have an integration. So when you're setting up OBS to stream to YouTube, you have to go into YouTube and get the stream keys and the stream names and all that, and go back into OBS and plug that in and things like that. But in Wirecast, you don't. All you have to do is choose Wirecast, and it does it automatically. And when like today, with 2 YouTube events scheduled, today's live show and next Sunday's live show, when I go into my output settings in Wirecast and choose YouTube, it's got those 2 events listed. All I got to do is pick the one I want to stream to, and it does everything automatically. And so the drawback to the free Wirecast for YouTube is that it comes with a little watermark. So they got a little Wirecast logo that stays on your screen. Now, I've been told, I haven't found this myself, but I've been told that you can pay like one time $10, $9.99 or something, to remove that watermark. And so I don't know about that. But the other drawback is, my understanding is, you can't do things like we've been doing here, where you preload all these other photographs and other little movie clips and show those kind of things. I think, don't quote me on that. But with the full Wirecast, we can load up. I've got 2 rows of clips and images and whatnot. And if we had, I don't have a powerful enough computer. If I had a really powerful computer, we could actually plug in multiple cameras and all kind of stuff, you know, which some of that you may be able to do with OBS. So that probably was a longer answer than you were asking for.
Yeah, I'm just confused. So
yeah.
Anyway, but I have a few things.
Okay.
All right. First thing, Hope said that was talking about the different names, screen names, and all that. Your YouTube name, whatever you call them. So that's going to be neat, meeting people at the conference with all the different screen names, and I'll be even more confused then, probably.
What you need to do is write your YouTube screen name on your forehead.
Yeah.
In a dark, big black marker, or put a big label on your forehead with your YouTube screen name.
Yeah. And I don't know what this was in reference to. Please
don't be offended when you walk up to us and we look at you like, hey, you know, y'all see our faces all the time. You know, some of your faces we've never seen. You probably wish you hadn't seen mine, but, you know, so be patient. Be gentle. Come up and tell us who you are on YouTube.
Well, yeah, and who was it? Just the other day, they made a comment on our Facebook video, Mud Pie.
Yeah.
Because it was on her under her real name, and then under it she said Mud Pie,
and we all went, "Oh!"
So Tommy, knew exactly who it was.
Oh, it's Mud Pie Girl.
And also, I don't know what this is in reference to, but it's in all capital letters. So Big Bear, you know how you're supposed to just address us in all capital letters. So I'm just assuming.
Oh yeah, I was going to get back to that.
I was just assuming you were talking to me, and thank you very much. And will you just keep thinking that I'm the better speller?
Yeah, you want to take that bet? I'll take that bet for you. You don't want to take that bet, Big Bear. If you were talking to us saying that you bet Patty's a better speller than me, lay it out there. What you got, pal? How much money you got?
We'll have us a spelling bee.
Yeah, because you ain't finna keep it long. How much money it is.
All right, that's enough.
Patty is. Let me put it to you this way. Patty is better than me at more things than I can shake a stick at. But spelling is not on that list.
Sometimes I won't make comments on things because I'm afraid of my spelling.
Yeah.
I'm not a good speller.
She's much better at math.
Thank God all my kids took after their daddy. They can all spell.
Yeah, I've got a knack for spelling.
Yeah. Let's see. There was something else too. Hope said, when did you get into beehaving?
I don't even remember. It's been a while.
I know in the last 2 or 3 years we've had 3 hives. One left. Another one came into that box. And then it left. And then the one where you should see in the pictures that there was 2 hives and one of them left. So
Big Bear, you got snow like recently?
Yeah, Tommy, they got snow in Arkansas just in the last
Well,
few
that's
days.
true. That's true because Hamilton showed pictures of theirs.
Yeah.
No, we didn't get any snow, but it sure did turn off blasted cold. I mean, and I don't know. I hadn't been paying attention to the weather. It was a total shock to me.
Yeah.
The rain was a shock yesterday. I didn't. Deep South, Danny, Wanda, did y'all get some rain yesterday?
We did. We did that.
We did. We got a pretty good soaking rain and got even some in the camper. Patty left a little tool door open on the camper and it got some moisture in there.
Yes, but I dried it out.
Corey shut that door a while ago because one of the cats was up in there.
Oh, good.
You did take the cat out before you shut the door, right, Corey? Yes, he did. He did take it. Because it looked like she's looking for a place to have kittens.
Big Bear got snow this morning. Wow.
Man, that's crazy.
Wow. And I want to say thank you to Kitty for reposting that question about that OBS.
Thanks, Kitty. You're doing
that.
yeoman's work.
I had seen that a while ago, and I was waiting for the opportunity to tell him, and then I forgot. That's what I'm doing over here. I'm trying to keep up with the comments. So, and they had a dusting. Always, Steve said that they had a dusting today in coastal North Carolina.
Wow. Danny and Wanda, y'all do not have to wear shirts with your name on them at the conference. Everybody knows who Danny and Wanda is. Hey.
Oh, Mother of Many Horses said we got snow coming from the west and the south. You know what we have not done, y'all? We were going to still talk about some fermentation stuff, and we forgot.
Oh, we ain't got but 10 minutes.
We've been busy.
Man. Let me.
That would talk about some clickbait. Or watch your show bait.
Yeah, we almost did a clickbait. It almost turned into if Andy hadn't texted us.
If I wouldn't have seen that text, you wouldn't see it.
Yeah, I don't know if you saw it, but we went live a little earlier today with a show update, a pre-show update.
And it was my idea too, because I was like, we need to let everybody know that we're going to be talking about fermentation tonight.
Our friend Andy Allen is a local chef, young guy, and he is so fired up about local food. And he works for another friend of ours, another chef that owns the restaurant called Betty's Eat Shop. Mm-hmm. It's kind of a different name, but there's some history there. The reason that people in Brookhaven understand that because of the building that they're in. And so they buy eggs from us. We sell them, 12, 14, 10 to 14 dozen eggs to them every week. And we're actually growing some things. If you saw in the garden update that Quake was mentioning earlier, we've actually got some stuff planted in the garden specifically for them. We're going to be doing some more of that. Well, we're going to be doing a video series where we're going to shoot some video in the kitchen at Betty's Eat Shop.
Mm-hmm. That'll be cool.
For Andy to talk about fermenting, because he ferments all kind of stuff, string beans and
Yeah,
you
I actually
name
have
it.
some of ate some of the string beans. Well, yeah, he gave us some when we went and ate. Remember?
Yeah,
he had some, and they were very, very good.
They were fabulous, and so I said, "Hey, man, let's do a YouTube series on fermentation right here in your kitchen. It'll help promote Betty's Eat Shop, and I know our viewers are interested in fermenting." And he was all about it. And so it's partially my fault because I thought about it this morning. Wasn't it this morning that I texted? Yeah, it was this morning.
Yeah,
I texted. I said, "Hey, let's see if Andy can come today." And so he was initially like, "Yeah," and we were going to have him get here about 5:15, give us a chance to do some updates, and so we decided to go live to make sure everybody knew that our friend the chef is going to be on our show. And in the middle of our live update, a text message came on my phone, and I was busy focusing on the camera, but Patty read it, and it was Andy saying, "I can't be there."
Yeah, and he said next Sunday. So we don't know 100%, but that is the plan, that he's going to be here next Sunday. And so be thinking about it. If you have some suggestions about fermenting food.
Or questions
if you've tried it and it hadn't worked, or just whatever, he has had some experience with it. I don't know how much, but he loves playing with that kind of stuff and doing that kind of stuff.
It's very adventurous. So either in the comments after this video is closed, don't do it in the chat because it's not going to stay there. But in the comments of this video, once it's posted for good, put your questions about fermenting foods there.
Or even an email.
Or even you can email them to us. Fermenting@aldermanfarms.net. You can just put anything at aldermanfarms.net. Don't put nothing ugly. I'm going to delete it. But send us your questions and we'll get them to Andy before the show next week. And so we really hope that it'll work out.
Yeah.
And he loves Alderman Farms and we love him.
Yeah.
And
he's been wanting to come for a visit. So
hopefully we get to come. So Big Family Homestead is next. I need to tell you guys something. J&J Acres is not going to be live today. Jared asked me to pass along that they're not going to have a show on tonight. Tracy, their one of their daughters turned 12 a few days ago, and one of their neighbors had a little girl that turned 11. I don't know if it was the same day or around the same time. So they had them a sleepover at J&J Acres last night, and I don't know why they called it a sleepover. It should be called a no-sleep over. And so they were up all night long, and Jared said, "We just can't make it. We can't hold our eyes open."
I understand that.
And they may be sleeping now because I had told him to feel free to come in and tell everybody, and but they may be asleep already. So no J&J Acres tonight. All right, so just go roast some marshmallows or something instead.
Hey, and Susan Sullivan and Quake Lake Homesteader said that Heidi at Rain Country Homes, I'm saying it wrong. Rain Country Homestead. Okay, thought I was saying something wrong. Anyway, that she's got they learned fermentation from her, so that'll be good to check out her videos too.
Yeah. Good. Yeah. And I haven't noticed the chat's been going so fast, and I feel like we've done a terrible job with the chat tonight. We've had so much to talk about, and I apologize for that. So I don't know if Old Alabama Gardener's in here, but Old Alabama Gardener, we've had a little discussion ongoing about comfrey, and he sent us a list. Apparently he's done several in-depth videos on comfrey. And so he sent us the links to those. We haven't seen them yet. And so go check out Old Alabama Gardener's channel and do a search for comfrey. I'm giving a blind recommendation because I just believe if old Alabama Gardener did it, he knows what he's doing.
Well, Adam, I'm really excited about it too because I've learned, there's two different kind of comfrey. One that can grow from seeds and it's a small leaf, and one that you have to grow, I guess, from propagation. From Danny actually told us that when we were at Deep South. And so I'm excited to learn more about that and to, hopefully I'll have the kind that you can grow from seed growing in my garden, but I also would like the bigger leaf. I'm going to try and use that as a green manure for garden stuff, and I'm going to try and get some compost going and use it in there too. Well,
it makes sense what he was saying, that the ones that grow from seed.
Susan said her comfrey sprouted too. Was that from J&J Acres, Susan? I don't know.
Yeah, because from Old Alabama Gardener, there is a comfrey that the seeds are sterile. So I'll be curious to know about that. But the type that you propagate from the cuttings or from dividing the plant is the deep-rooted variety, and that's what you want. If you're wanting comfrey for its renowned capabilities of bringing minerals up from beneath to the top, well, it makes sense that you want a deep-rooted variety.
Right.
And it's better for the animals if you're feeding the leaves to the animals. It's better for...
But we haven't done a lot of research about feeding it to the animals. I have...
No, but I'm just trusting old Alabama.
Yeah, I mean, I have read that it can be damaging to humans. So I just haven't done any reading about animals.
Yeah.
So I don't.
Well,
I don't
even
know.
using it as a green manure, putting it in your garden,
Right, you're gonna get more minerals
you would
and
prefer
stuff.
that deep-rooted variety that has really reached down into the earth and grabbed the good stuff and brought it up to the top. So, anyway, what?
Susan said the seeds ones that I have, I'm supposed to put it in the refrigerator for a month. Oops.
Well, so much for that.
Yeah.
Here's a question. Can you put the seed trays in the refrigerator for a month? Because we've already got them in seed trays.
Yeah.
Oh, well, so that may not work out too good.
Okay, and Southern Lady 44 is the one that got the comfrey from J&J Acres.
Okay, good.
So
that's where
maybe you need to put them in the refrigerator for a month. Don't do like me and just plant them. So I don't know.
I don't know.
I just planted them. We have had some cooler nights, but not freezing.
We got ours when we were over in Meridian, and Jared and Jennifer came to watch Corey play tennis, and then we went and enjoyed lunch together. And Jared had slipped Patty a little package. He didn't have very many to spare, but he 5 comfrey seeds, and so we had asked for. He's like, man, if you just got a couple, and he was generous enough to give us 5. Boy, look at that sun on you.
I know it's bad. I'm trying to stretch my neck up where I'm not all faded out like that. But
sorry about
it's
that.
About over.
It's about over. So y'all can.
Yeah, that's what Jay Sullivan had asked. What is comfrey? What is comfrey? And it's an herb, and I think the name they used to call it was bone knit or something like that. They actually would take it and, like, if you had a bad sprain or a broken wrist, a break, they'd put it on there, and it has a lot of healing properties. People used to actually take it internally too. They're suggesting not to do that now, but I don't know. So
all right,
I'm not an herbalist, so
Heidi, I'm sorry you missed most of the chat because about half of it we were talking about you. All right, so we just got time and really don't have time, but just to remind you that whether you eat or drink or whatever you do all to the glory of God because He's worthy of it, and every good thing comes from His hand. Every grace that you experience comes from His hand.
That's right.
Every grace that unbelievers experience comes from His hand. And certainly every grace that believers experience comes from His hand and the blood of the Savior. And He's been awfully kind to us. And He's been kind to you too, whether you know it or not. We appreciate you watching, and we'll see you next time at Alderman Farms.
Have a good night.